Hello, in today's video, I'm gonna replay and go over a little bit of the creation of probably definitely my worst game jam game called Oh No Mutants. It was for the Scorespace Jam number 28, and it was a disaster. Essentially, the difficulty here was in the fact that the jam changed themes halfway through. Apparently, they had a little voting thing for the theme, and initially it said that momentum won, but then later they retracted and said that mutation won. And I only discovered that about halfway through the jam when I had done a fair amount of work already. And then I only discovered that they were okay with you just sticking with your momentum game when I had then done a fair amount of work on the mutation theme. So this game is called Oh No Mutants, and it was made in about half the actual time that you're supposed to have for the jam. And so keep that in mind. It's pretty rough. One special requirement of the Scorespace Jam was every game had to have some kind of score tracking as well. So you'll see that there. You can already see that there. And let's see, put my little head in the bottom right there, and let's get going on this. So this is like the one thing I was able to reuse from the original theme was this spaceship here. And you'll see it's actually in the actual level here too. Um, I've got this kind of Republic Commando helmet HUD going on. And yeah, just a lot of mutants spawn, and they come at you, and their spawn rate ramps up as time goes on. Um, there is no automatic reload, only manual reloading, which is a quality of life thing a lot of people didn't like. A lot of people also said it was too hard. They thought that the mutants were unavoidable, which I think is crazy because you can just walk backwards. Eventually, they will kill you, pretty much no matter what. Let me turn down that volume. It's probably echoing in the mic. So there isn't technically a way to really win, but I think a lot of like arcade games with scores were kind of like that back in the day, right? So yeah. But yeah, players didn't like that. Uh, Players like to win. That's something I've learned about uh, game jam games is nobody wants to lose. They will rate your game very badly. This was also the jam where I learned you need to always join the Discord for the game jam, or you're gonna miss out on really important stuff. And yeah, there's so all of this basically was done in, I don't know, maybe like 24 hours total, roughly. I wanted to do a lot more with it. I wanted to make the levels randomly generate because, I'd kind of already done some random generation stuff with all of the pickups and everything for the ammos and the healths. Speaking of which, I'm totally gonna die pretty soon. Shit. But I didn't get around to that. Oh, I died. And I accidentally restarted immediately. I suppose I can keep playing while I talk about it. So yeah, the main this bad guy here, I think I did something kind of clever with that. I obviously sculpted him in Blender. Save times, I didn't bother with the hands. But this is actually only one model you're looking at here. All of these mutants are the same model, but I scaled different pieces of their skeleton to get more variety. To be a little bit more advanced, you could maybe, do that through code, but I just did a few whatchamacallits, a few prefab variants that I then set to spawn randomly. You can also clearly hear all of the gun noises are me going pew pew with my mouth, obviously. And yeah, let's see. That's probably about all you really need to see of the actual game. I'll just let them all kill me, and we can hop into Unity now. I can show you what the original game was like, and I can show you the in-editor version of this one. So this is what the game originally looked like when the theme was Momentum. Um, and I was annoyed at the theme change, but at the same time, like, I felt like I don't know, I like this wasn't terrible. I think it kind of had potential, but I wasn't feeling like I was quite reaching that potential. First person shooters are kind of a safe area for me, so I hit the goal there. So essentially what's going on here is all of these planets have gravity, and so when I was better at it, I could basically use momentum from gravity slingshotting, and then your score was going to be multiplied by how little fuel you used to get the furthest. And also these little pickups here, I'll give you some score and fuel, so if you get all the fuel, then you do the best, right? So that's how that was gonna work with that. You can also zoom in real close because I just wanted people to be able to see the spaceship that I made. When you run out of fuel, you can't move anymore, and then you can restart. So yeah, that's the original version, and I can show you the editor for the final guy. Alright, so here we are in the editor of the final version of this jam game. Obviously, radically different from where it started as that little spaceship game. You can see we've still got the spaceship though, so they're kind of connected. I reused some stuff, right? I had come up with this idea for the 2D icons for pickups in the game that was essentially 2D, even though it had a 3D spaceship. And I carried it over to this. These are so simple, I just painted them as super quick in Photoshop, and it's just a quad. And it's, I don't think I even wrote an actual script for it. Oh no, there's an actual script. It's always face camera, so it just finds the camera.main and always looks at. There's like a look at rotation script, I think, for that. So it's a billboard script essentially. And then yeah, we've got these you can see this is another case of me doing level creation like fully in Blender. So we've got static level here, right? And then these are all just things, all just cubes that I made in Blender. I had mentioned wanting to do a procedural level, but didn't get around to that, and so this was a really simple thing to do. I also painted this texture for the level during the game jam time too. Like, this is all fully, I didn't compromise at all really on actually doing stuff in the game jam, despite the significantly lessened time that I had to work on this. As I recall, even the mutant animation was a walk cycle that I did. Super simple one, obviously, but I'm not, the animation is a little bit of a weak spot for me. So I was proud of that, at least. You can see in the models here, I have, it's a single mutant model, like I mentioned before. And we could go into Blender really quick. I can show you the geometry and stuff. it's nothing special. It was just sculpted really, really, really fast for this. I hand painted the eyes. I hand painted everything. This is all in Blender's texture paint mode, right up here. Oh dear, cancel. Um, and it's just I have my paint palette up here. This is something I like to do because you can only keep two colors in Blender's color picker over here. I'll just paint in blank space in the UV map. And so you can see I have my basic flesh tone there, right? And then I have the red, green, and blues that I used because something that people don't tend to know unless they know art a little bit is human skin is not all one color, and in fact there's actually green, blue, and red in there too. You might, obviously everybody's gonna expect like kind of the fleshy color and red, right? But there's more blue in there than you would think, and that's part of why this gross, obviously this guy's meant to be super disgusting looking, but that's part of why it's more believable as some kind of skin. And obviously he also looks like shit. Like, I did not have much time for any of this. But yeah, that was Scorespace Jam 28, right? You can see if I select the range mutant here, oh yeah, and I got a bunch of LODs for all of these guys too, because I really wanted to make sure that that performance was decent. And you can have a lot of mutants on the screen in this game without issue, and that's largely because I know my shit with LODs and optimization. Like, even our highest resolution version here, like that's high res, but it's not like end of the world high res, right? LOD 0, there we go. And so I can show you LOD 1 gets a lot better, LOD 2 here, and LOD 3 here. And obviously there's a drop in detail there, but it's like, from a distance, like, can you tell any difference between these two? Like, dunk, right? Like, they look the same. So LODs are fantastic, and they'll make your game run a lot better. And yeah, as I was saying before, I didn't do it so much with the thighs, but all of the variety in the mutants is just scaling the bones and stuff differently, just like that. And you get away with it because they're just weird, gross, fleshy blobs, right? Spaceship came out nice. I think it's quick. About the same amount of time spent on the spaceship as the mutants. Maybe less time on the mutants, even, maybe. But yeah, there you go. That was my biggest jam disaster, called Oh No Mutants. And yeah, might have been better if the theme didn't change halfway through. But you live, you learn. I still got it done. A lot of times I think you should be proud of yourself if you just finish a jam, right? Like, you don't have to make the best thing for a jam, but you should at least finish it. If you make that commitment to it, you owe it to yourself to finish it. And that's a lot of where the value comes from doing a jam, is also just in finishing it, because finishing in itself is its own skill, separate to any kind of game development or anything. Finishing is a skill. There's so many people who they spend forever and ever and ever working on a video game, and they never release it because they haven't practiced finishing as a skill. And that's what game jams can help you with, is finishing as a skill. So, yeah, I hope that there was something in this video that was helpful or insightful or entertaining. Maybe not. Maybe this is just some super tired guy after work being tired and nobody will watch. Probably nobody will watch. Nobody tends to watch these videos, it seems like. Obviously, I know my main content is tutorial content and people tune in for that. But I would like to make this content too. And if I never make this content, then I'll never get a... What is this weird noise? Jesus. If I never make this content, then nobody will come here to watch it. So I should at least try to make it. And some of the next Game Jam games that I'm going to go over are more exciting than my worst Game Jam games. So, yeah, have a great night, and thanks for watching, and bye-bye.